All right. For the love of God, please tell me you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And you can hear me?
Awesome. Beautiful.
Awesome.
I can
All
hear you
right.
beautiful.
Great. So
Let's not
everybody,
change anything.
what's that?
Let's not change anything.
No, we will not. We'll stay with our current setup so we don't mess anything up. So for those of you that don't know, this is Emil Fischer. He's joining the episode today. We've got a little breakdown show we're going to be doing. We're going to watch a handful of his matches and then a couple of other matches that we had discussed. I'm going to change it up on you a little bit, Emil. I know you had a plan where you wanted to go through the modern flow, but I'm gonna play that Jeff Glover and that Christian Woods-Manzi match because I rewatched that and I think it tells a little story about your game. So we're going to start with that one, and then we'll watch a couple of your matches. So
For sure.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. I think most of the people listening are probably your fans right now, but for anybody else that listens to this after the fact, let them know who you are, where you're from, what you do.
My name is Emil Fischer. I am a BJJ brown belt training in Cleveland, Ohio. I also write for Jiu-Jitsu Times and several other outlets, including but not limited to, I've written for Jiu-Jitsu Magazine. I've written for GiReviews.net. I've written for just about everybody that there is. I've probably written over 700, 800 articles thus far. I also compete fairly frequently. I'm the current Zapatero Invitational 205-pound champ, as well as the current Masters light heavyweight no-gi champ at Fight to Win. So I've done some cool stuff. I've gotten a lot of really cool opportunities, and that's kind of my summary.
Very nice, man. So just real quick, how did you get started in jiu-jitsu?
When I was 8 years old, I started in martial arts. I started doing Kempo karate, and the group that I was training with was fairly forward-thinking, and in the late 90s, we kind of stopped with the karate background, started doing kind of more of a mixed martial arts style of training, and that attracted some local people that were Helson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu enthusiasts. This was back in '99. Mm-hmm. That was my first exposure to Jiu-Jitsu, and I've done it off and on ever since.
Very nice. And at what point throughout your jiu-jitsu career did you start deciding that you wanted to compete and take it a little bit more seriously?
So back in 2011, late 2011, when I was kind of in my second resurgence of training, that was when I really kind of started training for real, put the gi on and everything. At that point in my life, I stepped out and did a small local competition, and I thought it was going to be easy, but it was super fucking hard, and it annoyed me that I wasn't able to do the jiu-jitsu that I could do in the gym. So that was what got me started. That was my initial foray into competition. Then I'd say 2014, 2015, I actually started competing more and trying to make it into something that I was able to do semi-proficiently.
Nice. Very nice. That's some good background info for the people that don't know who you are. So I have to guess, just because one, you brought up the video of Jeff Glover also, and just from watching some of your matches, is Jeff Glover a pretty big influence as far as your game?
I wouldn't say that. I say that Jeff Glover's philosophy is one that I try to espouse.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Glover's built completely differently from me. His physical attributes are completely different from mine. I'm a fairly large human being. I weigh over 200 pounds. Pretty strong and all that good stuff. And so as a result, my game is going to be different from Jeff Glover's game. However, the idea, I feel like watching him at Metamoris going against Kai Otera and then watching him go against Barry Yoshida, this was back when I was initially kind of starting to think about competition as an outlet. That was a major influence for how I viewed jiu-jitsu and how I viewed what I wanted to do as a competitor.
Mm-hmm. And so does that match that you had mentioned, the one between him and Christian, is that one that sticks out in your mind specifically? I mean, obviously it was one that you brought up you wanted to watch on the show.
I just thought that it was a short match that has a lot of information in it and that really showcases a lot of what jiu-jitsu for me is.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Like as a competitor.
Nice. So I figure we can start off with that one. I had another Jeff Glover match in mind that I would like to watch if we get a chance. And then we can watch a couple of your matches as well, just to see how your game compares to it a little bit. So we'll start off with that one between Jeff and Christian. So I'll get it pulled up here in just a sec.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm kind of multitasking here doing my job as well, but I am paying attention.
No worries. What are you making?
We do specialized coatings on various components. Like right now, I'm coating some gaskets that go into heavy machinery, and I'm coating these weird little chain links. I'm not even sure why we coat them, but the company gets them coated.
Nice. Looks like Christian was going to try to wear a basketball jersey for this match.
That would have been amazing, honestly. And I like Glover's Deadpool outfit.
Yeah, that's nice. I think they said that, or they made it sound like it was maybe around Halloween that this was.
I feel like it's it's definitely around Halloween. I feel like it's like a charity match of some sort. I don't think that they were.
Yeah, it said something at the beginning. It was like a toys for something. Yeah, not toys for tots, but something like that.
Yeah, it's just oh my god! I like how Jeff does the duck and cover randomly.
Yeah, and it's something like early on in my competitive matches, it's something I did a lot because you feel it like when you're coming up as like a blue and a purple belt, that like a lot of the guys on the local scene just don't want to engage you in certain matches, and we obviously see that in some of the matches of yours that we're going to watch where guys just they don't want to fall into your game.
For sure.
And I think the thing that Jeff does pretty well is that he almost like baits you into baiting you. Like he kind of makes it seem like he's going for something and like gets you to engage him in a position where he can dictate the action.
He's also really big on like going from playful to not playful in ways that his opponents wouldn't expect. Like, he's very clearly messing around right now. Like it's very, very clear that he is not taking this seriously at this moment, but you can never know when Jeff's going to all of a sudden turn it up and get super violent. I love this crab ride shit he's doing. I can't do it. This is like an example of stuff that Jeff does that I don't understand. The crab ride is a fantastic position that a lot of wrestlers that I train with use a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Imanari rolls. The Imanari rolls are fun. Christian has no entry here. You should be trying to get between the guy's legs, that he's like instead going for this weird, almost reverse guard thing. I like Christian. He seems like a good dude, and I think he's really built a good brand for himself. Here we go. Now, Jeff, I think that Jeff should go for a toe hold over top if he really wants to finish it, but it seems like he's still playing around.
I think so too. I think maybe the fact that it was a charity match, he wants to kind of make it fun and whatever. But then he gets this, and he's like, nope.
Goes for this guillotine here. Just got deep on this guillotine. He got this triangle now. I feel like if he wanted this, he could have finished this. I don't know if this is where he finishes, but I feel like if he really wanted to finish here, he could have.
Yeah, I feel like too. He's got really good control of the posture. Oh, and he did. Okay.
Oh, he did finish. Okay.
Yeah, he got him with like wrapped around the back of his legs. Like what do they call that? TP finish, kind of.
Was that a TP?
I guess I'd have to run it back. I didn't. Maybe I miss.
It's just a normal triangle.
Yeah, instead of underneath the legs, he's just like gripping his hands over the top of his lock. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like really breaking people's posture with my triangle. One of the things I try to do a lot of that I actually learned, I don't know if you ever heard of Federico Tisi.
Not right offhand, but.
He's a black belt in Rome, Italy. And I got to train at his gym a few summers ago, and 'cause I went out to Italy for family vacation. And while I was there, I really appreciated Federico's teaching style. So he posted some videos of him talking about this triangle. The way he does his triangles, he jumps the triangle, and then when the guy postures up, he drops his guard around the guy's arms, breaks the posture, and then goes back up. And I've actually made that kind of a way that I do my triangle, because I find that because the fact that I'm going against bigger guys a lot, because I'm kind of fat and therefore am smaller than a lot of my competition, when I get a triangle choke, a lot of times guys are able to just posture up out. But if I clasp over the arm first and then go to the triangle, I can usually break the posture and then finish.
Very nice. That's cool. I like to hear from other people on the techniques that they like and how they've been able to make them work for their game. Like something similar that I do to what Jeff was doing with that S grip is like I'll grab the shin that's across the back of the neck, and then I just like grab my own wrist, and it's like a V or like a A over the top of their head, and I'm just using that to control posture and to tighten everything in. And I found that to be super effective in that position, even if you don't have like a perfect angle. Although I live for that perfect angle triangle where you can just like put your hands behind your head, like the Nate Diaz style. You just have it all the way, and you can just do the perfect leg curl. Like I think that's probably the most satisfying like submission.
I actually really like finishing triangles that shouldn't be able to work.
Really?
And
you like
it's really
just
funny.
Crunching them, just goon them.
Yeah, like when the guy wraps his arm around my leg, like, and it got like the arm on the outside all the way wrapped around. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the arm's not across the neck. It's instead like wrapped around your leg, so you shouldn't be able to finish. But then I just squeeze my knees together and they tap.
Just goon it. You're just strong. Do you do any like specific strength training, or are you just someone that's naturally big and strong?
I'm naturally big and strong, and then I also do some kettlebell stuff, and I work out at a gym that's affiliated with Westside Barbell. I don't know if you ever heard of Westside Barbell.
Yeah.
So as a result, I got a lot of access to really fantastic information. Like one of my coaches, Sean Doherty, is actually in the Westside Barbell book for combat sports.
Oh wow!
Like
That's
he's
awesome.
literally he's the model that they use for like the techniques.
Very nice. He's the poster boy.
Yeah, literally. So I mean that's the access that I have. I'm kind of a disgrace to it because of the fact that I really just don't care about physical fitness. I'm just doing jiu-jitsu because I love jiu-jitsu. But
yeah. You remind me of somebody that was on my high school wrestling team, and like he was just naturally big. Like it looked like he was like on steroids and lifted all the time, but he was just jacked out of his mind, and he would just make like a really like risky style, or like he would do like a lot of like suicide cradles and just like stuff that supposedly should not work. And he would always he like made it to, I think it was pretty far in the state tournament with just like goon moves basically. So that's kind of funny. Just your personalities remind me of each other, and a little bit of the way that you guys conduct yourselves as athletes too. But
yeah, but like the fact that I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid, like I may not look like I have the same kind of
what's up, Josh? Josh is in here.
Gaylord. I may not look like I have like the kind of the kind of mobility or physical strength that I have, but I do. So it works out.
Nice, man. So we'll get into this next match. I picked the finals match from that Modern Flow. So I'll make sure I tag.
Oh no! Oh,
you don't like that one?
I mean, I do, but it's such a bad match.
Would you rather a different one from that tournament?
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's just such a silly match.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched them this morning. I kind of previewed them all to get an idea of what I was getting into.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the match, Khalil.
So a bit of background on this event for me. I got a call from one of the heads of my team in Ohio. I'm part of Brasa, and Dion Thompson's one of like the heads of Brasa in Ohio. And he called me up and was like, I want you to do this tournament. I was like, I don't want to fucking do this tournament. Like I was getting ready for Nogi Worlds, and You know, I wasn't in the right headspace for it. And so I kind of like, I went and did it. Like I told myself I'd do my best, but I wouldn't take it too seriously. And this was the result. This was the finals match.
And how many matches did you have to get to the finals? Was it 8-man or 16?
It was an 8-man tournament, so I had a total of 3 matches total.
Gotcha.
The guy I was up against, Khalil Fadala, had just like 2 days before competed on that BJJ Fanatics Black Belt Invitational. I mean, he's a decent competitor.
Yeah, and
I didn't want to play. I didn't want to, like, I was like, just submit me and get this over with because I want to go home. That's like, I'm serious. I was like, go ahead, man. Go ahead, do what you got to do. And he's like super hesitant. And I was just like, all right, man, come on, just go ahead, take my arm.
Well, and that's like where like people, they're afraid to engage when you do something like this. Like they know that they're falling into a trap or something like that. It's like like I was saying with Jeff, like you almost have to like bait somebody into baiting them. Like you have to make them think that you're actually going for something, and then you're just baiting them into something else. Like
I just booped his nose.
That's hilarious.
Like not even like I was literally at this point, I had disdain for the whole experience. I was like, I want to go home. It's late. I have work Monday morning. It was a Sunday night tournament too, and it was in Detroit. Which was 3 hours for me. I was like, I just want to go home. So let me the fuck out of here. Just submit me. Come on. I'm not gonna give it to you, but come on.
Yeah, I did the first one of theirs. It was Modern Flow 1. It was a 170-pound tournament, and I faced Khalil in the semifinals. I was telling you that in the comments earlier, but I figured I'd mention it for the stream too.
Yeah. So you know, I mean, so like for me, it was one of those things where like it was actually a really well run, really good tournament, like beautiful production in my opinion for like what it was.
Yeah, I'd never even seen the video for this. This looks completely different than the first one that I did. I mean, the first one was good, but this looks like a show. This is nice.
It was, man. It was beautiful. I was actually like, I was surprised at how nice it was. Not saying like, I feel like Dave put together a really nice gym at Assembly. So he's got that going for him. I just feel like he did a really good job setting this up. I had Happy Baby here. Like at this point, I was like, come on, man, just submit me already. Like, I'm not going to beat you. Like, you're better than me. But I don't know.
And that's the thing. I mean, playing this style, like even if you're going against guys that are better than you, like eventually they're going to get frustrated and they might make a mistake. Like I notice, like in these types of matches, people will always eventually they'll try to do something really silly and they'll try to like jump over the guard. I think that happened in one of your other matches. It's not one we're going to watch, but the guy like tried to jump over your guard and you just catch one of his legs like super easy. Like that's something I almost feel like I see a lot when people play this like super passive game. Is the guy on top just tries to like jump over the guard silly.
That happened in the second match.
Yeah.
But here I gave him my back. Like I wanted him to take my back. I was just like, go ahead. Take my back. The guy just genuinely wanted to be done and go home. I'm not even joking.
Where is home for you again? You probably said it at the beginning, but I forgot.
Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, so he's here, and at a certain point, he just gets up and walks away, and I'm like, you just see the disdain and like the disrespect on my face. I'm like, come on, man. Of course, Josh wants to see a match where I lose. Fuck you, Josh. Last pro match that I lost was to Josh. Believe it or not.
Says they're hard to find. Giving you compliments.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, Josh. You know that Josh is
even more so. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, the corpse guard.
No, he says he's the best catch wrestler.
I am. I really am.
I remember I put up a video because I train under Eric Paulson's affiliation. So, you know, like we're technically a catch wrestling association, but I don't really do anything that's catch wrestling related. But I put a video out. It's like one where I just literally throw my hands up and let the guy take me down and I catch him in a triangle at the beginning or at the end. And
Yeah.
everybody got so mad that I put that I was a catch wrestler in there. They're like, the guard is a jiu-jitsu position, you fucking idiot. Like, just going off on me about it.
Well, it's funny because like I train with Sean Doherty, who fought in UFC 2. He's on the board of directors for Snake Pit USA. I mean, the guy is as legit of a catch wrestler as can be, and he's like, no, dude, you're a fucking catch wrestler. Catch as catch can is not about any specific position. It's a philosophy. I went full Stonefish here. I was like, come on. I'm just trying to get him to play. I'm like, let's do something. Let's do some jiu-jitsu. Playing touch butt in the park here.
That's a little on you though too. You got to make it happen too.
What's that?
I said you got to make it happen too, though. It's not all on him.
I do eventually.
No, I know.
I just wanted to be done. I just wanted to go home.
Yeah, those are exhausting. Where you like, because you probably traveled same day, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I hate those, dude.
The ride home was good, man. The ride home was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just kept looking over my money, and I was like, "We're good." This is good.
How much did you win for this one?
2,000.
2,000. Dang, that's a good payout.
I'm just like, it was not a bad day. So we're here. At this point, I'm just like, come on, man. Come on, anything you want, whatever you want. Now I literally shoved him out of bounds. Like, watch this. Watch this. Oh, not yet. He passes my guard. He gets his 3 points for passing my guard. That is 3. At this point.
And this was sub only, right?
It's EBI rules or modified EBI rules, I guess, because.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure it was the same rule set.
I think I did some exercises. Now I'm just posting on his face. Watch this. This is funny. So there are some lights set up next to the mat for like lighting. I tripped him over them. You see, like, you like knock him over, you see the referee go over to like set him back up.
That's funny.
All right, we're at the beginning of the end here. Now I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed. I'm like, I think I can probably beat this guy. Like, I think that he's probably scared of me.
Yeah, after, how many minutes has it been? Probably, yeah, we're nearing the very end. So, yeah, it's been 8-9 minutes.
Okay, here we go. So now I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up. And I saw an opportunity and took it.
Oh, what the hell?
You can rewind it.
What was that? Was that like a little Estima lock?
So it's a modified Estima lock. It's a high chest Estima lock. What I do is I lay the foot over top of my chest plate, like the bone up top, like right up here. I catch it, and then I just rotate my weight around the leg. Like, I attach myself to the ankle, and then I just gator roll hard because my gator roll is faster than he can move.
Nice. So that's what you're banking on, because you don't necessarily have control of the leg other than, your grip. So you have to outroll him. That's pretty crazy. I like that.
They called his name instead of mine at the end by accident.
Oh shit! Isn't he the like? Doesn't he train at that gym too?
Yeah. Well, he trains at Detroit Jiu-Jitsu, which is like Dave Garmo is affiliated with them. So. Okay,
gotcha. Yeah, I wondered how that was. I wasn't sure if Khalil joined him over at Assembly or what. I know that they're pretty good training partners.
The bracket was set up to favor Khalil, honestly. Like,
you think
he was given an easier way to the finals.
I kind of think of it that way for the first one too, because he got me in the semifinals. I mean, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah. No, dude. Like, I had William James Vincent in the first round, and honestly, I thought that he was going to win the whole thing.
Who was it?
William James Vincent, the guy that
okay. He was the first round. You said he was in the BJJ Fanatics as well, right?
Was that?
You said he was in BJJ Fanatics as well, right?
Yeah, they were both in BJJ Fanatics like 2 days before this.
Yeah. And that was their Grand Prix, right? That wasn't like a weight class, was it?
No, it was an open weight. I think William Tackett was in it.
Yep. Yeah, that was where he faced Tex, and Tex punched him in the face.
Yeah. I mean, before Tex punched William Tackett in the face, he ankle locked William Vincent. Yes.
And you beat him?
That was the one. Yeah, no.
He got a common opponent. You want to face Tex Johnson?
Yeah, no.
No?
I'm good.
Why not?
I'm good. Maybe one day. Tex is a lot out is much further out of my weight class than I'm comfortable with at this moment. I do need a haircut.
Dude, me too. I'm struggling. It's been a long time. That's why I wear hats all the time now. I never wear hats, but I'm just wearing them because I have a shitty haircut.
Yeah.
Josh says he's going to make it happen.
Fuck that. Yeah, he will. He fucking will, dude. Tex Johnson's a terrifying beast of a man.
He is. We had him out for an event, 2019 last year, and
Gotta go against Leighton, right? Matt Leighton.
Yeah, Matt Leighton. He ankle locked him with like a goon ankle lock in like the first 30 seconds.
I want to go against Leighton, Nogi. I want to go against him. Like, that's a match that I want because that's like, I feel like that's a match that is far out of my realm, but is winnable, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's a lot more accomplished, a lot better of a grappler than me. I'm not saying I'm on his level, but I think I could beat him.
Well, and it two completely different styles too. Like he's very like specific to that IBJJF rule set, and he hasn't really competed outside of it the last couple of years. I mean, even when I'm putting together my events, I try to get him to branch out from it. And this next event coming up, he actually was going to do our quintet thing, which was going to be heel hooks legal and everything like that. So I was excited to see him in that rule set.
Heel hooks
prepare for that rule set. Yeah, whenever we're able to come back, that quintet's going to be really fun. I'm going to try to crown champions in like all the Midwest states. So we'll go to like Nebraska, crown a champion there, go to, Iowa and Minnesota, wherever else in the Midwest.
How about Ohio? Ohio's in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And I know there's a big community out there. I mean, it's a little bit further away for us, but eventually, we're going to be all over the place. We're not going to stay right where we're at.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up the next match. It's a Jeff Glover match that I like, and I don't even know if it's technically like a real match. It's him and Bill Cooper.
Oh God,
they're kind of just playing around, but I love this match, and I figured we could bring it up.
Yeah, Bill Cooper and Jeff Glover. Holy shit!
Oh, looks like I was already watching it earlier. I must got to rewind. What was this even in? Gi Grappling 2005. I have no clue what the hell that is.
I think it was something Japanese.
Okay.
I think. And they're such goofballs.
Yeah. There's just so much movement. I think this was like one of the first matches I ever watched on YouTube after I started training.
Well, these guys are the real deal.
Some real OGs right here.
That flying
that was
guillotine
awesome.
into like a guard. Jesus.
Oh shit! I think he got pissed about that one. He's like, "Fuck you! You're not getting me with that shit."
Yeah. Holy shit, man!
Because I'm sure there was some kind of agreement to like, "Hey, we're just gonna have fun with this," but then I'm sure there's moments where somebody else turns it up and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck, man? I thought we were doing this friendly like."
I mean, they're both such unstable human beings.
Yes. I've never met Bill, but I've met Jeff, and he's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's legitimately crazy. I've heard that Bill's similar, that he's like a very troubled soul.
Yeah, I was there. I spent like 6 or 7 weeks out in San Diego, and I had like a monthly membership at Atos, so I was going there all the time, but I was still dropping in at not Paragon, sorry. What's the one he was at with
Victory?
Dean Lifter? Victor, that's it. And I was dropping in there a bunch. And like the second day I went in there, he's like sitting on the mats, and like before class, he's like, "Man, I'm fucking tired of jiu-jitsu." He's like, "I'm letting somebody else teach today." And he just walks off the mat, and somebody else came in and taught. I was like, "What the hell, man?" Like, I know it's not all about me, but it's like, damn, I was there to like specifically train with him. Like, that's why I paid the drop in, and then he just kind of walked out. But
I had kind of
we had some other good training sessions, so it made up for it. But that one, I was like, "What the hell?"
Oh, look at this armbar. That was a beautiful setup. I almost feel like with this sort of match, like commentary is going to fail because there's just so much going on at once.
Yeah, you can't like break it down like one thing at a time. You're going to get stuck talking about something that happened 10 seconds ago.
Reverse fucking triangle, Jesus. Yeah, I had an interesting experience. I went to what's that gym? Unity in New York City, and Levi Jones Leary was there, and I really wanted to roll with him. And like I asked him, and it was like the wrong. I think he was done rolling or something, but he was like, "All right, man, I'll roll with you." I thought that was really cool.
Oh, and you did get to roll with him?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a lot smaller than me, so like the gameplay was, and it was in the gi, which I don't really like, but the gameplay was kind of different. But it was good. Like it was really good. I learned a lot from it.
How often do you train in the gi?
Was that?
How often do you train in the gi?
More than I'd like to, but you know.
Yep.
I don't mind the gi. I like the gi. No gi is where you can make money in this sport. No gi is where I feel like I can get some notoriety.
And that's how I feel about it too. It's more exciting. I think more people are going to be willing to watch it. Like you put the gi on and wrestlers and other like I guess not other grappling arts because judo and them, they obviously have the gi, but like specifically I'm thinking wrestlers here in Iowa because I'm trying to get more and more wrestlers into the sport. It's obviously a giant demographic that I should be trying to get involved in jiu-jitsu. So I want it to look as much like wrestling as possible while still staying true to jiu-jitsu.
I'll be honest with you. I train with some super high level wrestlers. Like when I say super high level, I've trained. Have you ever heard of Andy Rovat?
Yeah. Yep.
I've trained with him a bit. He's a friend of mine. And just I find it really interesting when you train with guys that are on that level in jiu-jitsu, like when you roll with them in a jiu-jitsu setting, a lot of them aren't really interested in wrestling with you.
Yeah.
Like they want to do jiu-jitsu. They're not there to wrestle. They're there to do jiu-jitsu. Like Andy prefers gi to no gi. Like it's weird. It's weird to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and
weird.
like he's not the only one. There's a few. There's probably 5 or 6 very tough wrestlers that I've met that are like accomplished wrestlers that kind of abandon the wrestling for jiu-jitsu. Like they'll do it, I guess, in competition, but in training, they're not interested in wrestling with you. They want to play guard. They want to be in your guard. They want to experience something different.
Yeah, that's cool that they're willing to switch things up and kind of, become a white belt in something new.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the wrestlers we get around here, like guys that come in from the University of Iowa or Iowa State or UNI, any of those, big D1 programs that we have here in the state, and they don't stay very long because they get submitted a handful of times and then they just, I don't know, it's like they quit showing up. I would think that they would kind of come in and be like, damn, these guys are beating me in something that I thought I knew everything about and I want to learn about it, but apparently they're not as open-minded, or some of them, I can't speak for everybody, but
are these guys as accomplished? Like, are these guys like super accomplished, or are they wrestle at the college level? I'm not saying a D1 wrestler is not an accomplishment, but I'm talking like guys that have won national titles.
Not guys that have won national titles, but just the guys that have been on the team at Iowa, basically. And that's a huge accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah, like those guys are much better wrestlers than me. But what I'm saying is, like specifically, I've rolled with guys that are All-Americans, that are, national champs, that are in some cases multiple-time national champs. And I find that a lot of those guys nerd out on jiu-jitsu. Like they want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. Like I think that like when I get to train with somebody like that, it's really special.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's cool to train with people that are like high level in another discipline and then come into jiu-jitsu, and you guys can bounce your ideas off of each other and see what works from either discipline, in each. But yeah.
We got one guy at my gym. His name is Kobe Fair, and Kobe, his whole game is crab ride. He's a wrestler. He's like a high level wrestler, and his whole game is crab ride. And I'm like, holy shit, you're playing crab ride in jiu-jitsu for wrestling. Look at this shit. This is before leg locking was really, I guess, advanced. Because you look at like their technique. Their technique's such garbage here in that area.
Yeah, it's what I think it said 2005. So we're talking.
There was leg locking already. It already existed.
What's that?
It already existed.
Oh yeah. No, they existed. It's just they weren't like broken down and as systematic as they seem to be now, where people, it's kind of made its way into the meta.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there were guys back then that were good at leg locks.
Oh no, I'm not saying it didn't exist, but you definitely see the difference.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the last one I was going to bring up is the one that you had posted, the Joe Bays match. I thought that was actually a pretty good match. There's quite a bit going on in it. So
yeah, it was a super interesting match. That was for Josh. That was on Josh's Zapatero Invitational.
yeah, and was that just a one-off super fight, right?
It was a one-off super fight. This was like in a time when Josh had kind of decided that he was just going to do like one-off matches instead of full events.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gone back to wanting to do full events, but
you mean like tournaments?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so with this specific match, what was cool about it for me is that when I was a white belt, like when I was first getting back into jiu-jitsu and first kind of started to go out and check out competitions, probably my third or fourth competition, Joe had just either done ADCC or won the ADCC trials and did a super fight locally here in this area. And I didn't know what a heel hook was. I didn't know anything. And
yeah.
I'm watching this guy, and I watch a match between him and Josh Souter. And I don't know if you know who Josh Souter is. He's another black belt from down in Florida somewhere. I think he used to live up in this region. And this match with Josh Souter, like the optics, Josh is like this little muscly guy, and Joe does not look muscly and does not look. I mean, he looks more now, like he's actually built now, but back then he was kind of like a tub of goo. And he comes out there, and just the way he moves and like the way he attaches himself to people's legs is really special. And it got me thinking about leg locks. It inspired me to start looking at leg locks as an option.
Nice, man. So this was kind of like a cool matchup for you to go against somebody who you had looked up to coming up the ranks.
Yeah, the other thing was that I had 4 months to prepare, so like the weird strategy you see here was tailor-made for this match.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Boom.
I bought Josh a snapback Santa hat, and I insisted that he wear it as his when he was reffing the match.
A snapback Santa hat?
Look at his hat. Look at Josh LeDuc's hat.
I'm going to have to see if I can look on the actual video. Oh, okay. I see it now. Wow. Where'd you get that at?
Amazon.
Nice.
So what I did was I did not want to let him touch my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out that Joe finishes people by attacking feet within usually about the first minute and a half. And I'm just keeping my heels stapled to the mat. My heels are now stapled to the mat, and I'm just keeping them away from him. I'm like, go ahead, submit my upper body. Armbar me, choke me, do something other than a footlock.
Yeah. Funnel him into the areas you want to funnel him into.
Yeah, I did not think that I could win the match, but I figured that if I lasted longer than most of Joe's opponents, it would be a good thing.
And if he said he's used to finishing in the first minute or two, maybe he gets gassed after a few minutes of trying to submit you.
That was my hope, man. That was my hope. I didn't know what to expect. So we're here, and he is looking for upper body attacks. And he's doing a good job here. He's going for that north-south choke, and he's got me isolated. He's got my one arm isolated. I was able to swim the other one in. I'm just kind of waiting here. He's got great pressure. But I was content to survive.
Just wait till you can find your moment.
Honestly, I didn't even think I was going to get a moment.
Really?
Yeah. No, I thought this was going to be a loss. Like there's no question in my mind that I was going to lose this match. I mean,
funny how you're wrong sometimes.
Yeah. Look at him looking for my feet. Now I fucked up. I should not have sat up. As soon as I sat up, he gets this guillotine on me, and that guillotine is on. Like that guillotine is fucking on.
Yeah, he's all the way underneath.
My coach is a guillotine master, and my coach kind of walked me through the escape. Told me which way to turn and shit like that. I was able to find my way out. I'm out now. I'm good.
Yeah, you got your chin turned in, so you're safe from the north-south.
Yep. Now I'm going back to my original plan to lay flat. hope to get to overtime with him. You know, if I can get to overtime, I can stand a chance. Now he goes for an entanglement. So he's got this entanglement on, and I've been practicing a lot of heel slipping. So I actually felt okay. Like there was no real danger at this moment. Obviously there's always danger with Joe, but I was okay. Like I was surviving.
Mm-hmm. Well, he looks like he's convinced he's got something. But you look pretty calm.
I had something here. His foot popped really loud.
Dang. Yeah, that looks strong.
It was. And he actually let go of his foot lock. After the match, he told me that his foot had dislocated in this moment.
Oh, shit.
Hey, can you pause it just for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
I got to tell one of my colleagues something. We're having some malfunction here.
Okay. No worries, man.
Give me just 1 second. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. So I'll remove them from the stream. Just take a second here to mention I've got the Kyochera Challenger shirts, tank tops, women's tees, and mugs available now on the subspectrumbjj.com shop. So you guys can head over to that. It's down in the bottom banner, so you guys can look there for the website. I've also still got the Social Distance Warrior stuff. Originally, I was going to take that down, but Teespring's going to be offering me a sale later this week. Actually, I think starting tomorrow. So I'll be running that, and you guys can get a few dollars off on your apparel. So we'll see if Emil's ready to join us again.
I'm good.
You back?
Yep. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
having some issues here. So.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. All right, let's get back into it.
Yep. Yeah, so like I got him pretty good with that. It was like a Z-lock, a steam lock combo. And from there, I was like, I kind of smelled blood, and it kind of increased my confidence. And one thing I was really trying to do is I was trying to keep his feet separated, and I was trying to avoid that fat boy position that he does.
Mm-hmm.
What he'll do is he'll take that top leg and kind of hook it around you like a shepherd's hook. And he does it really fucking well. So I'm keeping my left hand against his foot, so he can't really get it around me.
That's a position I've heard Josh talk about a lot, or he at least call it that, the fat boy position.
Josh learned it from Joe.
From Joe? Nice.
Yeah, he learned it from Joe. So now we're more of a 50-50, and I'm kind of having an adrenaline dump because I thought I had him in that initial Z-Steama, Z-Lock, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of thinking about how I'm going to actually finish this. So I'm trying to attack the other foot. I feel like Joe's now a bit more leery of allowing me to crank on his feet because that first pop that I got out of him.
Yep. Changed his mind. He's like, oh, I can't let that happen.
Yeah. So now he's got me kind of like in a weird double trouble style position. But again, I practiced slipping my heel so much for this match that he was just not going to get a hold of that heel in that moment. Like I wasn't going to let it happen. And he keeps looking for it. I mean, he really is looking for it.
Do you know what a super chat is, Emil?
I have no idea.
Oh, I think it's on YouTube. I think it automatically stops the chat for whatever reason when I start. So I have to go in there and allow the chat. So yeah, Anthony, I'll get that added to future videos. I just forgot to do it for this one. Thanks.
Now I've got a power Achilles in it. I got it on the foot that I hurt at the beginning. So
I'm gonna go back and watch that again since I was addressing Mr. Paycheck.
Yeah, so I'm in 50-50, and I'm attacking that same foot that I hurt. I got a power Achilles, and I get it slow. I didn't think I had it, but he tapped.
So you're like your forearm was across the top of the foot there, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It looked like it.
I think so.
Yeah. Nice. And that was the Zapatero 205-pound championship, you said?
Yeah.
And have you had a chance to defend that since, or no?
I have not. I've had a couple rematches with Joe since then. Just like we had a rematch at the Battle for the Axe tournament in the finals, then we had a rematch at the Arnold's in the finals. I feel like spending 4 months immersing myself in another player's game like that really allowed me to kind of get into it and really understand what he was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a similar experience. I faced PJ Barch. Obviously, I lost, but getting prepared for that match was like one of the best things for my entire competitive career because I had to like obsess and focus on all these things that like a really high level black belt does, and how I could potentially defend against them and how I could counterattack, things like that. And to get in there and actually put off some decent attacks, or at least feel like I did something against someone who I thought was just going to completely smash me, gave me a lot of confidence moving forward. So I know that's something that's important.
Yeah, for sure. And like for me, it was a big part of it was the game study, like watching tape on him, really analyzing the tape, and then taking that information and developing a training plan to be ready for it. And I'll tell you, like for me, the scary thing about it was that like, so with somebody like Joe, or somebody that does leg locks the way Joe does leg locks, he relies on the other person to retreat or to fuck up in that position. So what he'll do is he'll get to that initial leg entanglement, and then usually people will freak out because he's got so much pressure on their foot, and they'll run. And when they run, that's when he can get the break.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I conditioned myself mentally to not run even in scary leg locks. And as a result, like I did some nerve damage in one of my feet that like took a while to heal. I mean, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But as a result, when I got in that entanglement, as scary as it was not as bad as the training for it was.
Yeah. You were comfortable. You'd been there a million times, and you almost, like you're just going through the motions at that point. Like if you've prepared well, you don't have to concentrate or obsess as much about your strategy.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. All right, man. Well, that's all I got as far as matches. I'll let you get back to work, but is there anything you want to plug before we let you go?
Sounds good. I mean, just check out my Facebook page and Instagram at Emil Fischer BJJ.
Yeah, I'll pop that banner up. I got one that's got your I got it down there in the corner anyways.
I see it. Also, if you're interested in learning from me, I do something. I upload a lot of information on a site called Rockfin. That's www.rokfin.com/Emil Fischer BJJ. If you endorse my page, it only costs $10 a month, and you get full access to all my content, as well as several other instructors, including Josh LeDuc, including Steve Pordinsky. I know there's guys on there like Ben Askren, Jordan Burroughs. I mean, there's some very high-level guys on there.
Nice.
So,
very cool, man. Well, yeah, I'll add that in the comments so people can find that. And thank you so much for joining, man.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was Emil Fischer. Tomorrow on the show, we have Ryan McGuire, Third Coast Grappling president. He'll be joining us. That'll be just a regular podcast, so we'll just be talking about some promoter things and industry things, and just how he got started with Third Coast Grappling, and just a couple other things. Shoot the shit. He's somebody we've conversated back and forth in our DMs and stuff, but we've never actually had a conversation or met each other. So it'll be interesting to get him on here and find out his opinions and his stories and all of that. So thank you guys so much again. We have the Kyle Chera Challenger shirts. I'll pull up a little ad here at the end so you guys can go find that. But t-shirts, women's tees, tank tops, mugs. We also have the Social Distance Warrior apparel on there as well. So you guys can check that out as well. That should be it. So thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.